Yeah, I'm actually just changing it this week. So this will be the first week I'm gonna play with that, and I've got it set up. I've got an 18 degrees head into a 17 degrees setting right now, but we've done some work with the TrackMan, and it actually showed that it's got a 3-wood ball flight, and but it launches it a little bit higher. So in a course like this, in which, you know, I might get chances to go for par 5s in 2, I want the ball to land as soft as possible, and that this which is a 4-wood actually, but goes a little bit farther than a 4-wood, gives me the best numbers and the best feeling. Yeah. So right now I have a 913, 17 degrees.
Okay, and what shaft have you got in there?
I've got a, let me check actually. I've just changed it, that's why. I've got a Phenom, Rip Phenom, which was the shaft that I had before in the 3-wood. Because it's very easy. It's because you know, many times we need to get out of trouble off the tee, hitting maybe a low 3-wood that goes 260 to 65 yards. But we also want something that kind of launches the ball from the fairway to land as soft as possible into par 5s. So you need everything with your 3-wood, and you hit it so many times, you know, in a round. It's very, very important. And if you have something that can launch it but still doesn't spin too much off the tee, that's the perfect combination, but it's very difficult to find. That's why I've actually built another 3-wood that I'm probably not going to use this week, but it's got a little less degree, a little stronger ball flight, and that's the case when I need to get out of trouble off the tee. But this week is in Portugal here, it's not really the case. You know, you need almost in 14 holes you hit driver, and it's not a problem to, you know, maybe saving yourself a few shots off the tee. It's mostly drivers, so mostly I will need a 3-wood to launch the ball into par 5. Driver that probably carries 270 yards. Yeah, driver carries 270 yards, and then the 3-wood carries between 35 and 240 yards carries without any wind, and then the hybrid carries around to just over 220. Very important to feel comfortable cutting it, taking a little yardage off, maybe knock it down a little bit, punch it. You know, you've got to do so many shots with your 3-wood, just because you're getting into greens. So maybe so many times you can have a little bit of distance in between the hybrid and the 3-wood, and it's more convenient if you want to risk to be able to cut a 3-wood instead of smashing an hybrid. Technically, I mean, you need to be, your path needs to be a little bit maybe inside out, you know, to be able to lift it without going in the ground a lot. You know, the 3-wood is a club in which you want to take as less divot as possible. You want to hit it up in the air. So the key is, I think, you know, you cannot have an outside in line and be able to hit very good 3-wood and very consistent 3-woods. I think the best players like Rory hit his 3-wood really well. He hits it high. And you know, you need to be fast and have a little bit of inside out. I'll probably grip it a little shorter, and I try to, and I would try after impact. You know, I have the feeling to really let the arms and the hands go low and left. So that's the feeling that I would like to have. I would take divot with that kind of swing, but obviously when you're punching the ball, it's kind of normal to take a little bit of divot. So that would be the kind of idea I would have. Grip it a little shorter and try to go left quickly, low and left with the hands, holding your wrist a little bit. Doesn't change much, no. It's very similar to the one you use in the fairway, from the fairway. But I mean, sometimes you need to knock it down a little bit. You need to fade it, so then becomes very similar to the one we were just speaking about, of trying to punch it and cut it a little bit.